ever looked down from an airplane window and noticed the green fields and rolling mountains, and then the dull gray asphalt blocks of rooftops? This built-up area called city is where most people live in. Wasted water flows off, and the surrounding musky air never seems to clear. Nonetheless, now an effective new technology is being utilized: living roofs. Today I'm going to talk to you about what a living roof is, the various aspects of one, as well as how to build one. Living roofs, also known as green or eco roofs, are literally building roofs covered with vegetation. There are two main types of living roofs: intensive and extensive. Intensive living roofs require more substrate and reinforcement, while extensive living roofs do not. However, this means that intensive living roofs can grow larger plants, such as trees. Now you may wonder about the process to build your own living roof. Starting from the bottom, there is first the insulation layer. This layer is used to prevent heat loss as well as the entrance of UV rays. One step above that is the drainage layer. It's also known as a reservoir board layer, and it's made out of plastic and used to prevent the plants from rotting. Another step above that is a carpet layer, which involves a fabric that is used to retain in all the moisture and keep the soil in place. The best plants to grow on your roof are native plants that will interact well with the surrounding flora and fauna. More and more countries around the world, the US, having 3.1 million square feet, are starting to exploit this technique. For the building owners, living roofs provide an aesthetically pleasing, peaceful environment where the indoor temperatures are able to be maintained and the sound is able to be insulated well. The plants on the roof, while carrying out their process of photosynthesis, are able to absorb in carbon dioxide and other impurities in the air, as well as drain in all the stormwater runoff, which prevents that from occurring. Additionally, living roofs provide more space for the nearby flora and fauna. Imagine yourself as a bird, soaring freely through the open air and gazing down at the metals and metals of rooftops. This ideal is now becoming a reality as living roofs are increasingly incorporated into modern-day architectural designs. Living roofs definitely help to narrow the gap between humans and Mother Nature. Therefore, today I've talked to you about the various capabilities of a living roof, what a living roof is, as well as how to build your own. Thank you for listening.
Alrighty, next to Leanna.
Can I have some tape, please?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, thank you.
Ready? Fine.
Do you know that the average human body is made of billions of cells? The cell is the structural and functional unit of all known living organisms, and it is often referred to as the building block of life. Today, I'd like to talk about organelles and the difference between the organelles of plant and animal cells. I'd like to start by talking about the little structures inside of a cell, known as organelles. To help you better understand each organelle, I will compare it to a part of a city. The nucleus is similar to a town hall. It contains the DNA and controls all of the cell's actions. The cell membrane is similar to a city's wall or border. It controls what goes in and out of the cell. The cytoskeleton is similar to the walls and steel girders of the buildings. They give the cell its structure. The ribosomes produce the proteins, similar to the factories and the workers. Ribosomes sometimes rest on another organelle known as the endoplasmic reticulum. This organelle serves as the roads and highways of the cell, transporting goods around. The vacuoles are similar to the storage rooms, storing all the excess material for the cell. The Golgi body is similar to the post office, packaging and transporting goods around. The mitochondria is another important part. It is similar to an energy plant since it produces the energy necessary for the cell to function. The lysosomes are similar to the recycling and trash centers. it holds extra materials and recycles some of it to be reused. These are only some of the basic organelles of a cell. Next, I'd like to talk about the difference between the organelles of a plant and an animal cell. Although plants and animals may seem very different on the outside, on the inside, their structures are very similar. Plant cells have all the organelles that I listed earlier, with a few exceptions. They have some extra organelles to help it perform its functions. For example, they have chloroplasts to help it absorb sunlight, and they have a cell wall to give it its structure. On the other hand, plant cells also lack an organelle that animal cells have. Plant cells do not have lysosomes, since they do not consume products that need to be broken down. In general, however, the cell structures are very similar. Even though cells are not visible to the naked eye, they are still, as we can see, they are still important complex systems filled with many little organelles that help us perform the functions necessary for life. On the outside, plants and animals may seem very different, but digging in, the cell structures are very similar. Don't these microscopic cells give you such a big surprise? Thank you.
Okay, next is onion.
Many things are worth sharing in life, but not cold and flu, and definitely not the swine flu. President Obama has declared swine flu a national emergency, and vaccine producers are warning that the vaccine production is running far behind schedule. Should concern for the lack of vaccines trigger panic? How can we stop panicking? Understanding swine flu, the symptoms of swine flu, and flu prevention methods help us eliminate the spread of the swine flu fear pandemic. Swine flu is spreading rapidly, but the virus appears no more virulent than the regular seasonal flu per the Center for Disease Control. Virulence is the measure of the disease-causing ability of an organism. According to the World Health Organization, the part of genetic code that causes severe diseases during the avian flu and Spanish flu epidemics are missing in the current H1N1 strain. Also, most people who get the infection recover without any medical care. Do not let the swine flu keep you restless. After all, its symptoms are no different from those of the regular seasonal flu. A fever of 100.4 degrees or higher, sore throat, coughing, headaches, and chills. So don't lose sleep worrying about it. Swine flu vaccines currently go to people with diabetes, heart disease, asthma and kidney disease, as well as children. These first vaccinations include harvesting the virus in eggs, but these grow slower than the manufacturer's expectations. So, for most people, we just have to wait. Let's not panic. Let us prepare for this winter season by washing hands, avoid touching the eyes, nose, and mouth, and staying at home while we recover completely from the illness. In conclusion, do not fear swine flu, fight swine flu, and overcome panic when people cough and sneeze. The new H1N1 virus is just moderate. Good preventive habits while we wait for the vaccine will help. I urge you not to worry about swine flu, but we should help friends and family catch up on missed chores and assignments when they are absent from school or work. And these moments of kindness are worth sharing. Thank you.
easier. Okay, our last one.
Click, click. It's the social networking king of our time. It has more users than people in Indonesia. It's possibly the biggest time waster ever. In case you haven't caught on, I'm talking about Facebook. Today I'll be talking about the popularity of Facebook, why Facebook is controversial, and some basic facts about Facebook. First, Facebook is extremely popular with adults and teens. In January 2009, Compete.com ranked Facebook as the #1 most used social networking site, overtaking MySpace, and the #2 most web trafficked site in the United States. Facebook's immense popularity is partially accredited to its diverse population. For example, in the University of New Mexico, Facebook is banned on campus because most of the population was wasting time. Also, 68% of companies have blocked Facebook because workers weren't focusing on the work in front of them. Secondly, Facebook is controversial. Facebook has been banned in countries like Syria for showing anti-Muslim propaganda and China for showing pro-Tibetan ads. Facebook has also caused many suicides and murders. Young women have been harassed by young men, which leads to suicide and rape. Homosexuals have been harassed by peers, which leads to suicide and murder. But on the other hand, Facebook is also great evidence for court cases. Prosecutors have found that the suspect has posted discriminating or hatred posts on Facebook before the crime committed. Finally, here are some basic facts about Facebook. Facebook was created by Mark Zuckerberg in February 2004 when he was back in Harvard. In 5 years, Facebook's revenue has grown to almost $300 million. Hey, how old are you? Facebook was initially open to only Harvard students, then Ivy League and Stanford students, then university students, then all high school students, and finally anyone over 13, though many users are underage. So, just to recap, I talked about the popularity of Facebook, why Facebook is controversial, and some basic facts about Facebook. Facebook has been with us for nearly 5 years, yet it's completely changed our lives, in both good ways and bad. Do you think Facebook will affect our kids as much as it affected us? Thank you.
Okay, so you guys could just stay put. We'll really quickly get the results in. So why don't you just stay here real quick, and we'll be right back in here to present the board.